Welcome to the second session of our Trust Fundraising 101 webinar series, Understanding the Trust Fundraising Landscape. In this session, we'll explore a little deeper the different kinds of trust funders out there, the key players, and how the trust fundraising landscape has changed over time. This session is designed to help you start navigating the world of trust fundraising with confidence. Before we start, let me introduce you to Money Tree Fundraising, the brains behind this webinar, who've been supporting charities to increase their high-value income for 14 years. Our goal is simple: to help you build strong, sustainable fundraising that makes a real impact. Our expertise expands across major donor fundraising, trust fundraising, and capital appeals. If you're interested in finding out more about our services and how we can support you, my contact details will be available at the end of this webinar. Please do reach out. And who am I? I'm Stacey, and I've been working in fundraising for more than 18 years, many of them as a trust fundraiser. I'm here to guide and help you understand trust fundraising and how it can be a vital component for a diverse income strategy for your organisation. If you've watched our Introduction to Trust Fundraising bite-sized webinar, you might remember we talked about the different types of trust funders. Understanding these different types and their motivations is key to being able to tailor your approach and increase your chances of success. Family trusts, such as the Esmée Fairbairn Foundation or the Tudor Trust, often have a unique ethos that's been shaped by the experiences and values of their founders. These funders often value organisations that are community-led, forward-thinking, and have a strong vision for social change, often in the areas the founders grew up in. Corporate foundations, like the Lloyds Bank Foundation or Barclays Community Fund, are funded by companies as part of their social responsibility. They often focus on issues aligned with their brand values and are particularly interested in demonstrating measurable outcomes that reflect positively on the company. There are 47 accredited community foundations across the UK. Grants are distributed according to the particular needs of the local area or region in which the foundation is based. They're usually looking to build long-term relationships and partnerships to address local problems. You probably have a community foundation near you, and they are definitely worth talking to about their funding opportunities. Specialist trusts, such as the Arts Council or the Wellcome Trust, focus on a specific area of work. If your mission aligns with their priorities, they can be a fantastic partner, but your application needs to reflect expertise and understanding in their field. And finally, large national funders like the National Lottery Community Fund or Comic Relief have the capacity to fund large-scale, multi-year projects and support wide-reaching social change. You're more likely to have heard of these funders, which makes obtaining funding even more competitive. The trust fundraising landscape is always evolving, and that's been no different over the last few years. It's important to stay informed about shifts in the landscape so you can amend your own trust fundraising strategies and look ahead to changes on the horizon. This helps you to stay more competitive in what can often be a challenging sector. Back in 2022-2023, trust fundraising continued to play a vital role in supporting charitable organisations, with over 13,000 UK funders awarding more than £20 billion worth of funding. The majority of the funders were smaller grant makers, yet their collective impact was vast. However, the sector was facing significant challenges: a cost of living crisis, increased demand for services, increased operational costs, and political instability. Trust funders responded with high levels of giving, but were also experiencing increased pressure, with applications rising by 20 to 30% on average, making the trust fundraising landscape increasingly competitive, something we're still experiencing today. As a result, many funders are now reframing their strategies, with some even pausing or closing their programs. And although this seems like a daily occurrence at the moment, these closures represent less than 5% of all trust funders, so there are still opportunities out there. The future of trust funding is about being strategic and collaborative. designing fundable projects that demonstrate impactful, insightful, community-led solutions, and building partnerships to strengthen the depth of your work. If you'd like to find out more about designing fundable projects and the importance of trust fundraisers in this process, we've developed an on-demand webinar to guide you through step by step. You can find out more about our project design for Trust Funders webinar on our website, www.moneytreefundraising.co.uk. Successfully navigating the trust fundraising landscape requires preparation and adaptability. By understanding your organisation, doing research on each potential funder, tailoring your applications, and building relationships, you'll position your organisation for success. My top tip is to really stay informed on what's happening in the sector. Follow Trust on LinkedIn, join the Trust Fundraising Facebook group, and keep talking to your friends and peers in the sector. Share insights and information on changes to a funder's priorities. We might all be looking for funding, but we should still work together to strengthen the sector for our beneficiaries. Let's review what we've learnt about the trust fundraising landscape in this session. With over 13,000 trusts and foundations giving away £20 billion annually, the trust fundraising landscape is diverse and vast, and the opportunities significant. However, with the vast majority of funders being small local organisations, the need to tailor your approach to match their priorities is even more important. Do your research and make sure your project really aligns with the goals of the funder you want to approach. The fundraising landscape is constantly evolving, with external factors like the cost of living crisis, political shifts, and global challenges influencing how trusts operate. Staying informed and flexible in your approach is key to navigating this changing environment successfully. Good project design that involves the trust fundraiser and your beneficiaries from the beginning, as well as building strong, genuine partnerships and relationships with funders, can give your charity a competitive edge and pave the way for future funding opportunities. The trust fundraising landscape may be competitive, but is also still full of opportunities. By understanding how it's changing and adapting to this change, your trust fundraising program can thrive. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this bite-sized webinar useful. If you'd be interested in finding out more about Money Tree Fundraising and how we can support your trust fundraising efforts, particularly in this changing landscape, please reach out to us via any of the methods shown on the screen. I really look forward to working with you.